heading down to Kawara Beach on a Wednesday, the first Wednesday in April, and this should be just 24 hours before I head off to Vietnam via Bali. But guess what? Not gonna happen. I made the hard decision last night. I've still got a lot of back pain, and I decided that I'd pull the plug on my accommodation with booking.com last night, and I got a full refund of both venues, so that was over $1,000 because it was for over a month, and it was a tough decision to make. I really need a change of scene, but it's just not going to happen. It's not practical at the moment because my back's in bad shape. I just took another anti-inflammatory, and I'm walking down to the beach as per instructions from Steve and Yvonne, my neighbours, who are also encountering back pain, and they swear by the fact that if you don't, well, you need to walk to basically give yourself good back health. And it's backed up, pardon the pun, by the search I did on Google. Lots of results say exactly the same thing. So yes, it provides flexibility, takes the stress off the vertebrae. It makes sense. But I really wanted to get away, go overseas, encounter a foreign culture, and it's blown. I couldn't even get a refund on my Jetstar ticket, typical Jetstar. When I actually did a search of changing the date, which I'm allowed to do because I paid more for the fare, but every single fare that I wanted to pick, every date apart from the one I picked, cost me more. About, I think the cheapest extra was about $167, and I thought, stuff you, I don't want to pay any more because Bali is not my number one priority anyway. That's the first leg to get to Vietnam, and I'm going to blow the whole jet ticket. I can email them and try, but I don't like my chances. That wasn't a cheap ticket either. To get from Bali to Vietnam was $450 with a 30 kilo or maybe 20 kilo luggage allowance. Yeah. So, but the bottom line is, you can see how I'm walking at the moment. It's pretty stilted. Well, I'm in pain, it's not easy. This is hard work. This is like therapy. It's like when you see these movies when you've got people who have had spinal accidents and they're using walking frames inside. I feel the same way. It's just not easy. I'm so lucky I've got fabulous neighbours like Steve and Yvonne. They're great people. And Steve actually took me up for a run to Smithfield. Then I found out when we got to the bottle shop, which is just up in Kawara, which is only a marginal distance to the actual Smithfield, that he had nothing to do there. So I said, look, forget this. I just want to get the grog. Just stop here at the local bottle shop, the Liquor Land at Kawara, and I'm happy. Because, he would have gone all the way to Smithfield, and that's a hell of a lot further distance, maybe tenfold distance from than what we went, just to so I could go and do my shopping, and it's just not fair. And I think it's sort of something around this area. I think there is a bit of a community spirit here. I'm just rambling. I just took an anti-inflammatory. I'm probably just losing it. I actually also saw this these films. It's a Vietnamese American guy named James Nguyen. Nguyen is a surname that is shared by 40% of Vietnamese, so it hardly ties the guy down. But he's actually he's made a number of remakes, I guess you would say, of The Birds, the Alfred Hitchcock's classic The Birds, and on a very low budget with incredibly poor CGI, although I'd say equivalent maybe to the original in the last one, which back in the days when Hitch was working with Tippi Hedren and what's his name, Sydney Boy. You know, you look up on the Internet Movie Database anyway, that Aussie star, he was okay actually. Tippi, not a big fan of. Basically, it appeared to me as if Hitch just wanted to bang Tippi because, you know, Alfred Hitchcock's not the most attractive looking guy on earth, but he was a very talented director. And his wife worked with him on productions. And it's no wonder that he tried to have amorous intentions upon the blonde, tall bimbo. But it wasn't fair because, you know, Tippi's not necessarily a bad person. Tippi Hedren she just can't act. She's not a great actress. And in a perfect world, Hitch would have said, look, I'm sorry, you're just not up to it. If you want to do catering, fine, but you're not. Yeah. As a lead actress, I'm sorry, just not on. Actually, Rod Taylor was the Aussie lead. Rod was okay. He did a few sci-fis. He did The Time Machine, and he was okay. Wouldn't say outstanding actor, but certainly good enough to be credible within the role, and that's a lot more than Tippi. And you had Suzanne Pleshette in The Birds, and she's an excellent actress. She would have made a much better love interest for Rod Taylor. A lot more dimension. She was a class act, but she only had a bit part as Annie the teacher. But anyway, I'm going away from James's Nguyen's effort, and he made not just one of these The Birds homages if you're being polite, and rip-offs if you're being unpolite or impolite. He made 3 of them, so I think, how the hell he got the money together? He's obviously a fireball when it comes to energy, and that's what I love about Vietnamese. But seriously, he needed a much better CGI guy, because the CGI effects in all the films were bad. But it wasn't just that. The acting, it was all Tippi Hedren level acting, not just Tippi, but the male leads were also abysmal as well. So, in my opinion, it's always in my opinion, you know, it's just what I think. But Birdemic 1, 2 and 3, which I just discovered today, are definitely bad movie show type entries into the pantheon, which is actually a TV pilot that I actually made with 2 mates in Melbourne, and we tried to pitch to the ABC. They liked it in Melbourne, but they knocked it on the head in Sydney, where all the money is. So it was a decent pilot we put together, and we might have got a show off the ground, but it wasn't to be. So there you go. At least we had a go, we tried. And the film we actually featured in the pilot episode was The Giant Claw, which I still find very amusing. It's a 50s sci-fi from America with the most ludicrous villain you'd ever seen. This squawking intergalactic bird that if you weren't afraid of it, you were certainly laughing at it, because it was just the worst possible mannequin you could ever seen. It was a shocker. Oh, there's a few more people out here. This is after 4 o'clock. It's obviously a busier time of the day. And there you go. But I've just got to do my walk. You can see all the paw indentations in the sand. It is Dog City round here. But, yeah, why go to Bali when you can get this in your backyard, in effect? High cost of living, sure, but it's safe. People are really decked. Look at all the gear here. No, they're totally prepared. Oh dear. Oh man, I wish I could get new back. I should go to Backs R Us. Just get myself a new vertebrae. No, it's beautiful here, really is. Wonderful spot. And the funny thing is that if and when I go on my next overseas trip, it is a bit of a when at the moment, I get less views when I go overseas. People generally like the canned stuff more. I guess it's more accessible for an Australian audience, because I don't get that many overseas people watching those videos. But it is a fantasy for people in Melbourne and Sydney, for instance, to get away from the winter and move up here and live the dream. Grass is always greener. It feels quite popular at the moment, the fenced-in area. I think it looks like probably a family there, I'm not sure, but that's relatively busy. I'm sure it's busier in Trinity Beach, but there's a few people here, and you know, I still do actually enjoy that. I've got to work out where I'm going to put my footwear, because Steve had his nicked, so I've just got to work out how to cover myself that way. It'd be good if they had lockers here actually for locals, but I guess that's asking too much. Oh man, it would be nice to have some steps here. Oh, got up here anyway, that's alright. Oh. Yeah, so there's a few people here, generally family groups, pretty standard. Oh, great area. It'll be even better when they finally do the recreational trail. Oh, just sit down on my ass for a sec. God, I've been here for almost 2 years and I still haven't gone into the water. It's pathetic. And this is one of the best places to do it because it's just not that busy. The only thing this place lacks is a bar, because the one over there, it's all run by, apparently it was taken over by Chinese, the resort to the left of where you're looking, and they haven't opened for business again for a while. Well, it's Good Friday and I'm just going to head down to the beach again. I've just got to get a walk in. I didn't do it yesterday. I definitely need to do it because I had a pretty lousy night's sleep. And this is a particularly weird Good Friday for me because I should be in a different country. I should really be in Legian in Bali. But because of this damn back of mine, I decided to pull the plug, and my plane flew off, I don't know, probably 5, 6, 7 hours ago. Might have gone overhead here, who knows, but yeah, so I was actually going to be going to the beach house with my neighbours, but they've decided against it because apparently there's no happy hour today, which is understandable. But on top of that, there's a 15% surcharge because they've got to pay staff hire amounts being a public holiday. And the other thing is you've got to have a full meal, because Steve was thinking you might be able to get away with a bowl of chips. So they've pulled the plug on it. He rang me up a couple of hours ago to tell me he sensibly went for a walk with Yvonne. Both Steve and Yvonne went up to Palm Cove. She's a keen walker, the Yvonne. She's had the worst back problem, so she knows how important it is. So they did a morning walk. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great.